Hello and welcome back to Immigration with Riham. Here we have William Chapman in studio with us and also Sejal Karavadra on today's show. We're taking a look at your emails and some of your calls as well. And we already have a caller online. We have Kate on the phone. Hello there, Kate.
Hello.
Hello there, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you.
Now then, you have a question for our immigration advisor today.
Yes, I do.
Let's hear it
I'm a Zimbabwean national.
Yes.
I came here in 2002, then I
Right.
came to asylum on 2006.
Just stop you there, Kate. We can't hear you very clearly in studio. So you're saying that you claimed asylum in 2002?
2006, yes.
2002.
Then I was refused the same year in October.
Okay.
On the grounds that the Zimbabweans were meant to, they were said we were supposed to go back home. So that's when I was refused.
Yes.
So I wanted to find out what can I do now if the Zimbabwean cases are still pending.
Right.
What can I do now?
Okay. And where are you from?
Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe. And is it specifically regarding cases from Zimbabwe that are on hold?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, we've been talking about this on the show recently as well. What advice do we have to give to Kate today?
Sorry, I couldn't hear her very well.
Basically, she's an asylum seeker from Zimbabwe.
Okay.
Claimed asylum in 2002 and had been refused by October. In 2004, did you say?
No, 6.
2006, so it's pretty recently. Have you taken it to appeal stage at all?
Sorry?
Have you taken it to appeal?
Yes, I did.
And was it dismissed?
Sorry?
Was the appeal dismissed?
Yes, it was.
Right, okay. So she's exhausted all rights of appeal as well. But having said that, there is that concept and a sort of perception generally about people who are seeking asylum from Zimbabwe, that there isn't any... but here, the decision has been taken.
The decision has been taken. So, I mean, as far as I'm aware, there aren't removals to Zimbabwe as such. It's not being enforced at the moment, so she's not going to have to go back at this stage as such. But if all her appeal rights are exhausted, then unless she has some sort of fresh claim she can make, there's not much she's going to be able to do.
Now, you did talk about something that some case law that's imminent in the end of August.
Yes, we should have a decision by the end of August on the country guidance case that's coming out for Zimbabwe. And most judges at the moment, especially in courts, are adjourning cases up until they get this decision, which will give them a view for exactly what the situation in Zimbabwe is like and how each case should be applied.
And do you see that as possibly a positive outcome for cases such as Kate's?
For Kate's case, possibly. It depends on whether her representatives can make further representations once the case comes out. It's a possibility, but obviously there has to be strong evidence to back it up. It depends on why her application was refused in the first place. If it's just based on credibility, then it's difficult.
Well, perhaps we can ask Kate. Kate, can you tell us what was on your refusal note? What was the reasons given?
The reason was that last October, Zimbabweans were meant to go to be returned to Zimbabwe.
Right.
So that was the reason why I was refused.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so the reason was just because you...
Because of the AA.
The AA? The reason was because of the
case
AA.
of AA.
Right, okay.
Right, okay. It's very difficult to understand the link. We need to actually look at her paperwork to see why it's refused. So on that basis, whether she'd be able to make further representations. But before anything can be done, we need this new country guidance case law to come out. With regards to AA, I mean, it was in the favour of Zimbabweans, so I can't see why it would be refused on that basis. So at the moment, I'd say sit tight and wait for this new decision to come out, then go and see your representative and see what's going to actually happen at that stage.
Right.
But we're looking at towards the end of August, beginning of September for the decision.
Right. Well, what is your take on this, William? This has been, of course, in the media for a considerable amount of time. But what is happening with Zimbabwean asylum seekers or even people who have possibly genuine reasons and known to the government, because of course Zimbabwe isn't an issue that can escape anybody who barely picks up the newspapers. So why do you think, what is the Home Office struggling with?
Well, I think one of the problems which they've had, which the Home Office has actually mentioned, is the problem of fraud, or rather a documentation which isn't correct. That's probably the correct terminology.
Documentation as in the sort of passport or travel documents they arrived with?
Correct.
Right.
And that's, I know that at one stage they weren't even processing anything while quite a number of Zimbabweans had been caught up in that, and I think a delay of over a year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it was taking up to a year for even passports to be made out there.
Do you not think that it's a bit unfair for somebody who's fleeing persecution to not have the correct documentation on them when they are running away?
It's not unfair, but it's how they approach the situation as soon as they arrive in the UK. If they arrive at an airport or at a port, any port, and go straight through with the false documentation and then think about claiming asylum, then it will be looked on badly. If they arrive with false documentation and at that point say, I'm here to claim asylum, then it's not looked on badly. It depends on how long they take. Is it also a case where there is a little bit of sort of the identity fraud as well, where people who might not be from Zimbabwe claiming to be from Zimbabwe and claiming asylum, because there is the issue of porous borders there, and that further complicates the issue, because if they're trying to verify your ethnicity, it could take it could add to the delay. Exactly, and it's very hard to determine anything to do with Zimbabwean nationality, because obviously there's no sort of relationship there with the two governments where they'd be able to check anything out, so it's very difficult. Yes, I think that would pose a problem where you'd actually go back to the Mugabe regime and ask for cross-checking. I think that's possibly not for a while. But Kate, did you get the information? Have you been able to answer a few of your questions there?
Yes, I've got another one, I think. I've been with my partner for 3 years now.
7 years?
3 years.
3 years, okay.
Yes, and we've got a baby together who's 4 months old.
Yes, and your partner is what?
Zimbabwean as well.
Zimbabwean. Does he have any leave to remain in the UK?
Yes, he does.
Does he have indefinite leave to remain?
Yes, he has indefinite.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so I was wondering if I can apply under his status or something else. Right,
okay. So Sejal, applying on different grounds. She has applied on asylum, failed there. Can she apply on the basis of being in a relationship for over 3 years? The partner does have indefinite leave to remain. Can be done, but it would be an application that's outside the immigration rules, and it would need to be based on the fact that obviously if he's got refugee status, he's not able to go back to Zimbabwe himself. So of the problems it would cause if she had to go, he wouldn't be able to go with her, and the human rights aspects involved. So you're saying that they can't apply within the country, it's not something that could They can apply within the country, but it would be an application outside the rules because of her status or lack of status. So it would be at the discretion of the Secretary of State as to what decisions are made. But I think it would be a strong case in the sense because he's got refugee status, he can't go back to Zimbabwe. They can't go back there, get married if they wanted to. That's not something that can occur. So you need to base it on that. And obviously they've got a child together as well. He wouldn't be able to visit the child in Zimbabwe, those sort of things. Right. So Kate, there seems to be a little bit of hope on those grounds.
Yes.
Is that something that you will take up with your solicitor? Do you have one?
No, I don't have one.
You don't have a legal representative?
Yes, at the moment they're not taking cases for Zimbabweans.
They're not taking cases for Zimbabwe? Oh, okay.
Yes.
Right. Is that something that is a general policy for solicitors generally?
It isn't. And Kate, I will get back to you after the show and I'll go through your case with you.
Okay then.
Well, there you say, Kate. So there are solicitors who are willing to take up cases from Zimbabwe. Thank you very much for the call today, Kate.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye for now.
Bye.
Right, William, there's another campaign in the works for you there, not taking cases from Zimbabwean callers or from Zimbabwean clients. Do you have people who will complain about the fact that because they have difficult cases or because of their country of origin, they have problems in seeking representation for them?
Well, with the VBSI, basically, there have been calls coming in, but because the organisation is more to try and get changes in certain rules pertaining to a very specific area, we're not actually in the position to give expert opinion at all. We can try and guide or to tell people of certain solicitors or organisations which deal with the immigration issues, and try and allow the people then to get the proper advice which they need. We most certainly do not have the resources to answer that. I think that is specifically something for a solicitor to deal with.
Yes, well, we have obviously evidence that there are some solicitors who are willing to take up cases, and we're quite proud of our Legal TV team, because we've had a number of successes with people taking up some of the cases, our experts on the show taking up some of the cases that viewers have called in with and had success with. So yes, there is hope out there for all of you. We're going to go to a break. 0845 603 0933 is the number for you to call. Also remember, you can email us at immigration@legaltv.co.uk. We'll be back straight after the ad. Stay with us.